This is where the railroad tunnel was on a haul road. I'm talking to the camera. It's okay. There's some ice up there.
Understand that when the waterfall started here, there was no canyon there. That was all solid rock. Between here and across, that was rock. That was the first part to be cut of the big Niagara Canyon. Some questions people are asking about why the boat's down there and why all the gulls and stuff. This is a major fishing area because it's a salmon spawning ground. The salmon comes
This is where the tunnel was.
And the gulls, I guess,
For N.Y Central Railroad.
Smaller fish in here somewhat. They seem to like to hang around the power plants, but I don't know why. The water's warmer, but I don't know. Anyway, from here, just some human-made things to notice. The Beck plant. So take a picture there, and be sure, here's the thing. When you do the pictures, I love it. It's great. But put good labels. Make a note in your notebook. It would take you a second to scroll it down. Tell what that photograph is. I didn't really remember what the heck we were talking about. Other people were posting up pictures. So you're looking at the Beck plant, which is a Canadian power plant. Power boat coming up the river. And you're also going to be at one of the longest legal span arctic bridges in the world. Not the longest. That's called the Lewiston Bridge because it connects the town of Lewiston to Ontario town. This again, I tell you, was a difficult thing to put a bridge across the gorge, but at least it got done in the 1990s. Aha! We'll take a little bit to look at the rocks. Let me go through the lower stratigraphy here. We're standing at the top of the Whirlpool Sandstone. Our feet are on the top of the Whirlpool Sandstone. By the way, where do you suppose the Whirlpool Sandstone's name comes from? Sorry? Whirlpool, yes, which is down the gorge. That's that big elbow bend in the river where it's exposed very well at the river level. As we go up out of the Whirlpool Sandstone, it's kind of hard to see here. There's a gray shale that comes next called Power Glen. The Power Glen, again, is debated what its exact age is, but probably very early Silurian. Cameron is standing up at the top on what I call the Devil's Hole Sandstone. You can see it actually changes from gray to red as we go up. But in the meantime, partway up, there's a kind of a light gray, white sandstone. Above it, all red for a ways. Where all the icicles are, you're looking at what's called the Grimsby sandstone. The Grimsby sandstone is red stuff, which represents probably deltaic or tidal flat sediments of early Silurian age, quite certain. And then, of course, you can see a ledge up higher, which is white sandstone. It looks a lot like the Whirlpool coming back again. That's called the Thorold Sandstone. And in your guidebook, I have these. See the guys up there for a second. There's a track column in there to go by. So. Finally, what kind of process was going on there? A T word or an R word? Which one is it? Go ahead, give me the answer. T word or the R word? Yes. I heard you all saying in the back of your little mind, transgression. Obviously, it is a transgressive succession where you're going from very shallow water into this offshore shale. Now, as you go up into these increasingly red sandstones, back to Whirlpool-like bases, what do you think is going on there? Getting shallower or getting deeper? Coming out of the deep water offshore marine gray shales. You can think about these things too. It's getting more and more expansion going up. Getting shallower or deeper? Shallower. I hear you saying that you're just too damn cold to say the words. Well, use your words, you know? It's what we try to do. Okay. So,
there's a jet boat.
So just to review, Whirlpool, Power Glass, falling down. Look at it, see what you can each new visit. Here we're seeing pieces that have fallen out of probably the Thorold Sandstone up here, and you can see it's above the red sand. You can see probably the big notch where these pieces have fallen out pretty recently. You'll hope not to be here when they fall. But taking a look at some of these, let's just look at them together and see what sort of stuff we see. I've never seen them before. Now, first of all, do you think this is the top or the bottom of the bed, and how might you tell? Okay, come around so you can see the stuff, and we'll talk about it. Okay, I will tell you, I think this is the bottom of the bed. The bed has been turned upside down. Why? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Tool marks, sole marks, you can see these. What these are, very interesting. Do you all see these nice straight line features? They are mud cracks. They're not mud cracks. I say it, then I lie. So, they're not the mud cracks themselves, they are the casts of mud cracks. You understand, where the sand has filled down into what was cracked surface. The question then becomes, okay, can we say something rather specific about the environment that existed just before the sand was deposited? If these are really truly mud cracks, what does that tell you about that surface? Was it under sea level? No, it was exposed above sea level, right? So this would indicate a strong regression or shallowing up to the point, but the sand itself is probably marking the time when sea level began to creep back in over that cracked surface, right? So already we have a very interesting scenario that we can make here. A lot of nice tool marks of various sorts. Some of these, though, appear to be burrows. You see the burrow structures? That tells you that the mud was still soft enough to be burrowed into as the marine waters came up onto the mud flat. By the way, can you see evidence of erosion? Look right here. If you can't see it, then you're not close enough. Get in closer, and I'll try to accommodate you. So come close. And some in front might kneel down so others can see. What are these things, and how might they indicate erosion? Can you see these gray chunks in there? What do you think they are? No? That's chunks. They are shale, basically, that are pebbles. These are pebbles. Where did the pebbles come from? They came from the underlying mud-cracked mud, which was being eroded into and torn up to form these chunks. So they are what we would call rip-up clasts, rip-up pebbles. They've been torn up, and after a while, if they, do you see that little funny depression right there? Everyone see that? That's where a clay pebble used to be, but they're much softer than this stuff. What do you think this stuff is? I'll tell you, it'll scratch steel, so what do you think that's made of? Starts with a Q, guys. Yeah, of course. It has a hardness.
This is right here, rip-up
sandstone, a quartz-rich sandstone. This probably represents a very shallow beach or of crack. Now, just possibly, here's something to think of. Not all cracks that we call mud cracks are actually desiccation cracks. Can anyone think of another kind of cracking that occurs?
Seismite?
Okay, seismites can crack things. That's possible. But even underwater, what do we know about that? Under brackish water, where you're getting mixed salinity, you can get what are called Syneresis cracks. It'll actually form underwater, but the clay coagulates, so it's possible that these are that type. I would say maybe because they don't form nice interconnected polygons the way a typical mud crack is. But the other story is nicer, so I'll keep it that one. Okay.
Dr. Brett?
Yes, sir.
We have a...
Oh, by the way, I introduced Mark here. Mark is a great friend of mine who's been working on rocks in western New York for a fair amount of time. Cracked surfaces down here. Tell me a few things you can see in that rock. What are these where you see these layers that are not horizontal but are inclined? What do we call those? Herringbone's a good thought, but I don't think they're... Sorry? Right, pebbles. They're clay pebbles, rip-up pebbles. We also see a lot more burrowing, though, here. And if you look at this pale brownish stuff, oh, I bet we didn't bring the acids. This would fizz somewhat in acid, so it is actually slightly limey. And if you look closely, in addition, I know you're a little chilly, but there's maybe a Diplocriterian burrow right there. There are a few bits of shells. So if we had mud cracks at the bottom, right, if those are true mud cracks, then we know you had an exposed surface, right? But here you have marine shells. So coming up through that sand, what's happening through sea level? We're going from mud cracks to exposed shells. I know you can answer it because you know everything. Yes, you do. And what would that tell you if you're going from an exposed cracked surface to offshore shells? Deepening. Perfect. See? You do not. Oh, look at Kyle. Always get the best stuff. Look at those. Those are the top views of Diplocriterion. And now you can see here a little bit of the side view. Do you remember Diplocriterion? It's a U-shaped burrow. And here you can see the sandstone that's fallen that has a lot of those lovely trace fossils in it. So there, that's quite nice too. I'm not sure it's from the same surface, though it looks like it could have been. Alright? Yeah, I'm sorry too, sir, you know. Here, look at this piece. Here's a red piece that's fallen. So, oh.